Okay, so we've got a misfire on our Nissan. Okay, it's going to be an extremely hard diagnosis. We originally thought we might have a vacuum leak. However, at this point, we are no longer thinking it's like a major vacuum leak. We're actually thinking we're going to have an issue with our fuel rail, maybe our fuel injector somewhere. It could be a clogged fuel injector. It could be a numerous list of things. This is where things are going to get extremely tricky. First of all, this problem, even though I've broken this engine down to this, and I know this engine now like the back of my hand, this problem is not a problem that's going to be right in front of my face. I'm going to have to go in and I'm going to have to look for this problem. I'm going to be pulling my upper intake again. I'm going to be pulling my fuel rail again. And I'm going to be pulling my spark plugs and my coil wires and checking all that. I'm going to be looking for stuff that is outside of the box, stuff that they do not teach you in school. Things like, for example, I could have a little hairline tear in a fuel injector O-ring. And that simple little hairline tear in a fuel injector O-ring could very possibly cause the type of symptoms in the misfire that I'm seeing. I could have a hairline tear crack in a coil. I could have a hairline crack in one of my spark plugs. I could have a funky, faulty wire somewhere in my wiring harness. So these are all things that I'm going to look at. We need to go back and we need to look at math. I have here the fuel rail that came with the replacement engine. Now, believe it or not, so there's no difference whatsoever in these fuel rails. But for all I know, these fuel injectors could be rated at 21 milliliters, and these could be rated at 22. These could be rated at 20 pounds. These could be rated at 20 and a half pounds. So there's a little, at least a few hours of work that I need to go through. Now, if you look here, we could also be having a problem like, for example, now the human eye is not going to be able to see this, but we could have a problem with our fuel injector it could possibly be clogged. Now, the way I would find that out here is I would have to get set up with fire extinguishers, buckets of water. We'd have to get really set up and get prepared to handle a pretty decent explosion. And the reason why is what I might end up doing is if I can't find anything else, then what I'll do is I'll uninstall my fuel rail, leave it connected to the car, and what I'll do is I'll take a mirror or a piece of glass and I'll put it underneath each one of these fuel injectors as I fire it off. Now, if I fire it off, what'll happen is it will atomize the gasoline. Let me tell you something. When you add atomized gasoline to the outside atmosphere, it does not take much. I'm talking you could breathe in its direction and boom, you'll blow up. So we'll have to get set up to do that if we go that route. And but what that'll do is if we atomize the fuel onto, say, like a mirror or a piece of glass, then we'll be able to see then with our human eye if there's any droplets as part of that atomization. And if there's any droplets, then that would tell us that we have a clogged fuel injector. So yeah, the things I'm getting ready to go in and do is, it's not the stuff that they teach you in school. You go to school for 10 years. And they're not going to teach you, hey, a misfire could possibly be caused by a hairline tear in an O-ring that's the size of, about the size of a penny. So that's where we're at on the Nissan, guys. Good news is it starts right up. It runs. We have bugs to work out on it. Starts right up and runs every time. Runs great right now, and see that is one clue as to how we know. Like right now, there's no misfire. It's running all right. So that is a good clue to tell us that we have possibly an issue with the fuel injector or a funky coil, spark plug, something. It could even be something as simple as a piece of carbon got caught up in the engine upon startup. Remember, this engine was shipped to us all the way from the East Coast, so yeah, it could be something as simple as that. And I might find that out by pulling a spark plug and seeing that a spark plug's been collapsed with a piece of carbon that hit it. So that's where we're at, guys. So keep me in your prayers. Just keeping the strength and the joy going. I mean, we did accomplish a huge feat here. So now we just need to work it all out.